Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we're going to be talking about Ripple and XRP, so let's just dive in. And let's start off with this tweet here from Matthew Fox. I seen get retweeted earlier today. So we did see a few people talking about XRP's price and what they are expecting. Don't worry, I will address what I'm expecting from XRP in the short term. But we do see from Matthew Fox, XRP do not fall for the trap at 35 cents. I'm not expecting treasuries to continue the rally after this week. Plus, expecting Fed to keep 25 BPS as the rate hike without hitting the 50 BPS pain zone. Many are speculating. All dips until March 22nd are for buying. And we do see here on XRP what he's expecting. He's expecting this push down to about like 35 cents or so. We do see every single oversold weekly money flow signal has led to an impulse. All eyes are on the next 2 weeks for XRP Bitcoin. And here we have the XRP Bitcoin price charts. Now, I will say this. What I have been focused on with the XRP Bitcoin price chart is sideways momentum. I mean, this thing has been in sideways momentum essentially for the entire time frame of 2021. I mean, we've had impulses here and there, but ever since it topped back in 2018, this thing has been in a downtrend and a sideways trend. I would ultimately say that we've been in this sideways momentum since going all the way back to 2020. I mean, this is when we've seen XRP get absolutely demolished by the SEC, but this has been in a sideways momentum trading pattern since 881 days ago. So a big move is essentially brewing. One thing that I would love to know is the Bitcoin price charts support area. So the thing is that XRP is holding on to the significant area that we've been trading in for a while. Our recent, and this is on the 1 month, by the way, our recent 1 month time frame is showing us where most of the support is on this price chart. Now, if we do lose this level at about 1604 sats, we will most likely get a retest of the May and June 2022 low, which is at like 1324. This, from our current price action, would be a drop of about roughly 17 or 18%. Am I expecting this in the short term? Not necessarily. But I do know that a lot of people have been anticipating a drop to 30 cents again, and also a lot of people have been addressing a possibility of coming down to like 23 cents again. That is possible. It is. But one thing that I would love to know on this price chart is I'm going off of the December 2020 low, and I'm going off of our topping point from our April high. You could see on this price chart that we did hit a significant resistance area on XRP's recent push to the upside. This is because of most of the market pumping. Remember, this is basically our low, and this is our high. Now, XRP did not really perform as good as most altcoins, but it was still a 45% push up. But it did hit that local resistance area that we've tapped multiple times in the past. And when we did tap it in the past, we ended up, retesting 30 some cents. I would ultimately say that if you wanted to buy into XRP, you could average in if you want. But me personally, I'm looking at a retest of support. 33 cents is a perfect area of support. 34 cents, I would say, is more so probable. But we could possibly come back down to 30 cents. And yes, it is still possible that we get lower price action. But in my opinion, I am still buying XRP at or around 35 cents. I don't think that it is a bad price to be buying XRP at all, because if you look back in time on the macro, I mean, most of the demand is around 30 some cents. 35 cents, it's not bad to average in, and honestly, XRP has been trading sideways for quite some time. I mean, when we came back down here under 40 cents, we'll go off of the under 40 cent zone. So it has been trailing sideways for about 273 days. So a big move is brewing. I don't doubt that at all. We are still waiting for a big move on XRP because honestly, the price action has not been that incredible on XRP compared to most other altcoins. And I say that wholeheartedly because if we focused on other altcoins, there has been a significant uptick where you could have made a ton of money and actually washed it into XRP. But it is what it is, right? The one thing that I would love to note, though, is where our significant resistance actually is. We need to break out of this 40-cent zone. It's like 43.5 cents. We need to break out of that, retest the 60-cent area up here, and finally get that breakout. Because without that, we're just trading against resistance, hoping for something to be, happening. But one thing that I will like to note is that a lot of people are saying, like, this is interesting that this chart coincides with the fact that we could see judgment anytime, in the next couple weeks. I'm not expecting any big announcement, but hey, I'd love to see it. But we do need a catalyst. I will say that we do need a significant catalyst to break over these major resistance areas, because this would be a 60+% pump. So we need that. And even if we come back down to test that demand range, this is like 100+% run up. So we need to have something push us to that upside. The Bitcoin price chart, I definitely have been looking at the Bitcoin price chart. I mean, on the macro, if you want to go off of the macro Bitcoin price chart, I mean, you could see where most of the support range is on this. Like, we could come back down to test like this 1471 sat level, which I wouldn't be, I wouldn't be against at all. I love buying opportunities on XRP, and I really do appreciate them. But you could see where our level of interest is to break out and get a significant push on XRP, which would be the 382, 2518 sat. So that's what we are waiting for. That's what we are, really kind of hoping for as well. But with all of that in mind, what else is happening around crypto? Well, we are starting to see exchanges taking big moves against the US dollar. We just recently seen Bybit suspend USD withdrawals via US bank wire transfer and SWIFT on March 10th. This is basically going to be happening within the next couple days. And we do see from Real Lisa Daly, which, by the way, shout out to Real Lisa Daly. I actually included her in a video recently. But we do see in January, they halted deposits of the euro. The US dollar and euro are the top two fiat currencies. Pay attention to the exchanges. And yes, I want you guys to understand that, like, you can make of this whatever you want. I'm not going to play into it too much, but I will say this. Exchanges are starting to realize that they need to push away from the US dollar. Binance started to do this. Binance recently started to push away from the US dollar. They wanted to go and have other fiat currency based pairs, which would be pretty interesting to see how that works out. But the main reason that I've been focusing on exchanges is because we're starting to see an all-out war with exchanges. Coinbase recently said that they delisted Binance stablecoin BUSD due to liquidity concerns. I don't think that this is the case. In fact, I actually think that this is in part with the SEC, because recently the SEC did say that they believe that the Binance US exchange is operating an unregistered securities exchange. Now, remember, this is not Binance itself. This is Binance US. And this is concerning because, again, I said it in the past that the SEC has opened the door that they don't feel like closing at all. And it's a door that allows them to go after any of these exchanges, because they only said that Bitcoin is the only cryptocurrency that is not a security, which means, guess what? Binance US, all right, go look at their exchange. How many other tokens are they offering on their exchange besides Bitcoin? All of those are apparently securities. So when you think about that, Binance US is now operating an unregistered securities exchange. It's a clown narrative that the SEC is pushing, but it's a narrative that they're pushing to allow them to go after any exchange out there. This is a big deal. And we do see over here, Circle, USDC. Johnny Deaton is actually quoting this. We do see from Santiago Velez, Circle needs to bend the knee to the banking cartel, Federal Reserve, US OCC, and FDIC Gov. Hello, Santiago. I'm reaching out with the important update about Circle's third-party wire and ACH payment products. Unfortunately, we were recently notified by our service provider that they are no longer able to offer these payment rails. As a result, Circle will discontinue support for third-party wire and ACH rails via our payments and payout APIs. The wind down of these services will happen in a phased approach. To be clear, there is no impact to your ability to easily mint and redeem USDC via the Circle account or core API. So, yeah, I mean, this is very, very interesting, and you could read more about this if you guys do want to. But I will say that this is something very, very interesting. And also, here you guys have a little bit more of an interesting viewpoint on this. The thing is that we start to see a lot of these exchanges being targeted, and we also started to see banks, big banks, the UK's largest bank, HSBC, I reported on this, banned customers from purchasing crypto with credit cards. The problem that I see with this is the fact that, it's not the idea on like, okay, well, how can we crush crypto? How can we, kill crypto? Well, it's very simple, right? They're not trying to kill it entirely. They want control over it. They want Wall Street and the big banks to be the custodians. They don't want exchanges to thrive at all. There was a tweet, actually, I think it might have been from Johnny Deaton, actually. But it was recently. I seen it recently, and it was talking about how these big banks, here it was. So it was the plan from day one. If you can't kill it, crush it for the incumbents to come in and save it. The plan, hand the crypto asset class off to Gary's Wall Street buddies. Listen closely to this video, and also look at the interesting things that have happened during this entire time.
What happens to the likes of, let's say, a Coinbase or a Kraken or some other U.S.-based entity that trades in crypto, that tries to be on the books and show everything to regulators when they're asked? What happens to them?
Well, as long as they can satisfy the sort of requirements that typically are imposed on an ordinary broker-dealer like Merrill Lynch, they will be fine. But this is a problem because you can't take your crypto and find a custodian that can handle it. I mean, you can't go to the ordinary bank custodians. We know that. The SEC has spoken about that. So how do you do it? What do you do? It's a real dilemma. What we need is guidance that says, okay, here is an asset class that people want to invest in. Here is a way that the SEC considers acceptable for custody of the asset. Without that, we are going to continue to have regulation by enforcement as people try to figure out what would be acceptable.
And again, we're already starting to see the Wall Street buddies jumping in on the space, taking a hold of, what we are seeing becoming a big problem, and they're going to be looking like, oh, look at, they're saving the day. They're the ones that are, taking action, blah blah blah. Like, no. Like, they are turning, what they're doing is they're creating a narrative around the actual exchanges in the space that for the longest time, were the on and off ramp to and from crypto. And now they are giving all that power to the Wall Street players, the big players, like, for an example, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan. They also had a few other ones in here. State Street, I believe, was in here. I know that they had another one in here. State Street, and then also BNY Mellon. These are like major Wall Street entities. That's what they want. They don't want decentralized players. They don't want crypto exchanges. They don't want these major names around crypto to succeed, because what they want is they want all that money to be pushed over centralized custodians that are on Wall Street and the big bankers, because bankers don't want to lose out on this next big thing. Because remember, I've said it, this puts confidence in the fact that crypto is headed in a much, much bigger way than anyone is even expecting. Because guess what? If it wasn't going to become that next $100 trillion asset class or whatever, why would they be fighting against crypto this much? Why would they want to control crypto this much? This is the truth around it. This is the major plan around it. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, to notifications on if you guys have more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, up to you all. Have a beautiful day, beautiful night. Wherever you guys are on this world, this has been Nick. Peace out, guys.